Welcome along, everybody, to Hockenheim for round number 9 of the Formula Renault Eurocup. Chris McCarthy here for you to call you through the action. Qualifying 2 coming up. Set the grid for race number 2 a little bit later on. Now, on my way into the circuit at about 8 o'clock local time this morning, the track was dry, but in the last 15 minutes, the heavens have opened. And as you can see, there has been a last-minute change to get the wet tyres on. The cars had to be ready at 8:35 on the pre-grid. They rolled down into the pit lane in the last 15 minutes, and it's been a bit of a rush since then to get on the wet tyres and make any setup changes as well. Rain wasn't due to start falling till about 11 o'clock local time, so it was an 85% chance that the later race was always going to be a wet one. But qualifying wasn't expected to be wet, and this morning it didn't really look like rain was threatening, but it has changed, and the situation now is like it was yesterday. We're going to have a wet qualifying, and I'm sure people are going to be rushing out the pit lane. They're going to be a bit of a gamble on setups perhaps, but there'll be a rush out the pit lane, I'm sure, to try and set a time whilst the track is at its best. These new Hankook tyres we are using for this season, though, they tend to come they tend to get better and better as the session goes on. So it's not a case of you've got to set a time in the first couple of laps. They will get better and better as the session goes on. It's going to be a very exciting session, I'm sure. Yesterday's one was full of we had 3 red flags in total, full of spins, because this is a very tricky circuit in the wet. I can tell you, you've got to use the runoff curves, funnily enough, on the exit of the very fast corners, particularly at turn 1 and turn 11, and that makes it very tricky not to send the car into a spin. You have to feather the throttle as you're on those runoff curbs just to try and keep the car in a straight line, and then rejoining the track is even trickier at times. Well, let's bring you up to speed. If you missed the first race yesterday, it took place in dry conditions, and I'm afraid to tell you, if you did miss it, you missed the race of the season. But don't worry, of course, you can go back and watch all that. Who won the race of the season? Well, it was Victor Martins who took it in the end. Caio Collet, who you can see on screen, he finished in 3rd place and wrapped up the rookie title as well. So Caio Collet now has all his entry fees covered for next season, and he's already won 8 sets of tyres as well. Anytime you pick up a rookie victory, you win a set of tyres for next season. Splitting the 2 Renault Academy drivers on the podium was Oscar Piastri. Of course, Victor Martins and Oscar Piastri currently in a fight for the title, and they are now split by just 5.5 points at the top. Piastri is ahead of Martins. They spent a lot of time side by side yesterday, particularly in the first 10 minutes of the race. It was really, really tough racing. Victor Martins and Oscar Piastri both talking about how tough the racing was, but Piastri felt it pushed the limits of times of being fair racing, but it was definitely good racing. And one thing he did say to me is that must have been an entertaining one to watch. It was, and Victor Martins dived from 3rd to 1st, actually, to take what was eventually the race-winning move. But said to me later on that he didn't actually mean to do it. Just got his braking all wrong and had no choice but to dive up the inside. But it gave him his 3rd victory on the bounce, 4 in 5 for him so far, and that has really brought him into the title fight. It's put the pressure on Piastri. Before his last 4 wins in 5 races, he only had the 1 victory back at Monaco. So Victor Martins is on form at the right time. 4th place was Hugo de Wilde. Now, Hugo actually led the early stages of the race. He, of course, took the very first victory of the season, the youngest driver on the grid. And he took the lead early on when all the chaos was going on ahead of him. He got a fantastic start off the line, did Hugo de Wilde, and then took advantage of Martins and Piastri both running wide down at turn number 2. Went into the lead, held it for a good few laps, and in the end, a solid 4th place for him. Gregor Sorsi on his return to the series, having been with us for a couple of races back in 2017. First race in this new car, and the Swiss driver did very, very well. 5th place for him yesterday. Sebastian Fernandez in the Arden car returning back after a 3-race absence due to FIA F3 commitments, moved forward nicely to finish 6th place. Kushmani in a battle with Ugo de Wilde to be 2nd rookie was 7th, and it was Patrick Pasma. Frank Bird got a top 10. Peter Patacek was 10th. Malvis Stiti was 11th. Xavier Liveras was 12th. Lorenzo Colombo, unfortunately, ended a statistic which had him finishing in the top 7 every time he finished a race. He finished 13th place, sadly, after an incident on the first lap with Alex Smoliar. Lorenzo Colombo lined himself up for a switchback move, which could have seen him go into the race lead, and sadly Alex Smoliar was in the path of where he wanted to go. It was a racing incident. Lorenzo Colombo eventually recovered to 13th after going round. Leonardo Lorandi had a very disappointing qualifying in the wet yesterday, so he's going to be out to make amends today. He spun with 10 minutes to go, and it brought out the red flags. Amaury Cordil was 15th. Now we have to talk about Cem Boluk-Basi. I know there's been a lot of support for him this weekend. Even the official F1 Twitter account was sending him some good luck, and he did himself very, very proud. One thing I have to say about Cem Boluk-Basi, caught up with him after the race yesterday, and he said to me, I'd never driven this car in the dry before until the lights went out for race number 1. So you can imagine the Turkish driver had qualified an impressive 14th place, and he lined up on the grid with some of the best up-and-coming drivers in single-seater racing in the world, and all of a sudden that was his first time driving it in the dry. He'd only had wet running around this track. It's his first ever time racing a single-seater car. He found out on Wednesday night that he was going to be here, so he's had no time to prepare fitness-wise or anything like that, and he turned up and lined up on the grid in the dry. Lights went out, and there we go. That's your first lap. No time to prepare whatsoever. Only preparation he had was playing F1 esports. So Cem Boluk-Basi did himself very proud. He let everyone go past him, gave them a gap to avoid any incident, and then eventually would come home 16th place. Held on to the pack as well, but clearly he was struggling to hold on to the car after about 6 laps, and he said to me just was really struggling to even turn the car in. But I think the wet conditions are going to suit him better. He looked very good in the wet in qualifying yesterday, so let's see what he can do today. With every session, he's just getting better and better. Was 14 seconds off the leader in the first practice session. Was 3 seconds off in qualifying yesterday. So look forward to seeing what he can do. Alex Smoliar, well, he is out to make amends today. There's no doubt about that. Picked up damage with that incident with Lorenzo Colombo. He was bitterly disappointed when I spoke to him yesterday. Just was really, really devastated with the result. He felt a really good result could bring him perhaps closer to the championship fight. There was a chance with Martins and Piastri fighting to go and take a win perhaps, but Smoliar just didn't work out for him, and I hope for his sake that he has got himself ready for today and is going to fight back. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about qualifying. Now, the pole time yesterday was a 1:55.217 from Victor Martins, so that's going to give you a reference, although it was a little bit wetter yesterday. Let's see what Oscar Piastri can do. He'll set us a benchmark time. This won't really be our pole time, I don't imagine. As I said, these Hankook tyres do get better and better as the session goes on. But Piastri and Martins in a really, really close fight now for this title. There's just one round to go after this. That'll be in Abu Dhabi at the end of the month. First time we're going outside of Europe. It's going to be a good round, and the first time is a 1:55.7, so that's only half a second off what Victor Martins did yesterday. Smoliar does a 1:55.9. That's a shot coming out of turn number 1. You just have to feather the throttle. It's very hard to keep the car in a straight line, said Oscar Piastri, but that is the fastest way to do it. This is the number 71 of Alessio Deleda, and just running a little bit wide. He really, really struggled yesterday in qualifying, was 12 seconds off. Just couldn't get a lap together at all. I wasn't expecting him to be out today. I heard that he was potentially not going to be out today. He pulled out from the race yesterday, but it's good to see that overnight he's changed his mind and he's come back. Smolyar is second. Peter Patacek is third. It looks like Caio Collet is fourth place. Victor Martins is fifth. Caio Collet within a second of Piastri. Piastri going even quicker on this lap, though, as I'm sure everyone else will be, and indeed they are. It's only Xavier Laveras who went slower through the first sector. Piastri, it's the hardest corner. Colette was telling me that there used to be a gap in the wall to the left before the turn-in the last time he raced around here, shall I say. And that used to be a marker for where you had to start turning into that corner, because it is blind, but that's now gone. So Caio Collet said it's even tougher now to get that one right. But purple for Piastri. Smolyar's gone purple through the second sector. He's matched the time of Piastri. In fact, he's gone quicker, so he's gone 2/10 quicker. So Smolyar could be on to take pole here. Oscar Piastri does a 1:54.6, but Smolyar is going even quicker, and he takes provisional pole position. 1:54.5. Well, that's a way to fight back for the Russian to the top provisionally. Piastri is second. Caio Collet is in third place. Then it is Lorenzo Colombo. He needs a good result today, and he's doing well so far. Fourth place. Peter Patacek is fifth. This is Hugo de Wilde. We may come back to that. Then it is Amaury Cordial, who was quickest in the first practice session of the weekend, in sixth. Seventh is Victor Martins. He really needs to pick up the pace down there. Leonardo Lorandi doing better today. He is in eighth place at the moment. Then it's Chemboluk Basie. He's in the top 10 at the moment. Well, the Toro Rosso F1 Esports driver up in the top 10 at the moment. He has just dropped to 10th because Gregor Sorsi has gone up to fourth place. Returning to the series, first time in this car. Caio Collet, despite being the top rookie and taking the title, still said to me, I want to make the next step. I want to fight with the likes of Martins, Smolyar, Piastri. He won't be satisfied until he does that, and Caio Collet won't be able to do that running wide, unfortunately, so this is going to be a lap he bails out of, but he really is desperate to just make that next step. That's a little bit too wide from Oscar Piastri. That's a shame for him, because he was on a very good lap. Gregor Sorsi has gone purple through the first sector. Piastri did go purple. By purple, I mean they've set the fastest sector of the session. And Piastri had set the fastest second sector. Gregor Sorsi had set the fastest first sector. Everyone going quicker. Chemboluk Basie not. Frank Bird not either. Nor is Alessio Daleda. Across the line we go, and Piastri will set another flying lap. Smolyar improves his time, 1:53.998. He's the first driver to go sub 1:54, and he's got a gap at the moment over the rest of the field, but Victor Martins has gone pole. Victor Martins to the top of the times, 1:53.967, so he's only 300ths quicker than Alex Smolyar. Fantastic there by the Frenchman. Piastri's going quicker though. He set the quickest first sector, which is immediately beaten by Smolyar. What's Gregor Sorsi going to do? The RSGP driver comes through the final two corners now. Looks clean and tidy to me. He was slow through the second sector. That may hurt his time overall, and it has. He's bailed out of the lap, I think, because he's gone considerably slower. So either he had a mistake or he gave himself some room to Boluk Basie ahead. Piastri's going quicker now on this lap. Sets a personal best in the first sector. Runs wide though into turn 8. Piastri, that may hurt his lap, I feel. Smolyar's just gone purple through the first sector in the background. You can see the Russian driver. He's going very quick on this lap, and he set a purple second sector as well. So quickest in the first, quickest overall in the second as well. Smolyar in the background, absolutely flying at the moment. All he needs to do is find 300ths of a second, and he will go to the top of the timesheets at the halfway stage in the session. It's a 20-minute session, and there we go. We pick up the Russian just in time. Through the right-hander he comes. There you can see to the bottom of your screen that he's gone quicker in the first and second. Piastri comes into the pit lane, presumably to make some setup changes, and across the line we go. Alex Smolyar goes to the top. 1:53.326, 6.5 tenths quicker. The track looks to be getting quicker. Caio Collet has come into the pit lane as well. Victor Martins comes across the line and does a 1:53.953. That's a personal best for him. Lorenzo Colombo is now third place with a 1:54.3. Victor Martins just getting on the runoff curb there. Did he do the same out of the final corner, I wonder? This is a lovely slow-mo shot. Look at that four-wheel drifting. I think that might be out of turn 11 or turn 1. Fantastic stuff from Victor Martins. Indeed, it's turn 1. You just have to feather the throttle through there. Half throttle, Piastri is saying me, all the way once you get on that runoff curb. Victor Martins, has he gone any quicker on this lap? Braking in the middle of the track because the rubber is, the racing line is going to be very, very slippy. That's where all the rubber's down. So you've got to brake in the middle. Again, that's something you learn when you start racing in karting, like Victor Martins did. He was a world champion, official FIA World Karting Champion. That's the corner where he made the move to take the race lead and race win. Again, he didn't really mean to make it, but had to avoid causing a collision. And he's going very quick on this lap. He may have been a little bit slower through the first sector, but he's quicker than anyone else through the second. Not too sure what's happened to Lorandi there, the number 25. Just having a look to see if any messages have come up on the screen, but not as of yet. I'll keep you informed. Lorandi's 10th place at the moment. No spinners yet, which I don't believe we have. In fact, just as I say that, yellow flags come out. So right on cue, someone has maybe turned round somewhere. They got going again, whoever it was. But Victor Martins, more importantly, has gone quickest in sector 2 and 3 and stays at the top. Victor Martins, 1:53.172. 1:53.3 it is for Smolyar. Then it's Colombo, Sorcy, Piastri, Collet, Patacek, and we have Cordial, De Wilde, and Lorandi. Out of the final corner, there you can see, just as you get on the curbs there. Any track you usually go to, that is not advised to get on the curbs, but for some reason, round Hockenheim in Formula Renault Eurocup, it's what you have to do. Gregor Sorcy in the background there, the number 4 comes across the line, and he's 6 tenths off of pole position, and he's gone to third place. He is getting quicker and quicker. He was very impressive yesterday. Started 9th on the grid and finished in 5th place. Raced very well, and as he becomes more comfortable with this new car, he's getting quicker and quicker, and he really could be a threat today. See the concentration in his eyes through the clear visor there. They have to put those clear visors on. It's not a rule that they have to, but once the rain starts falling, a clear visor is what you need to just be able to see clearly. Tinted visors with the lights not very good in the wet, and spray coming up as well. Just won't be able to see very well, so clear visors usually usually what you put on. Right, here we go. Victor Martins is going pretty well, isn't he? Personal best, sector 1. Sector 2, 51.267. That's purple, so best of anyone. Through the final corner we go, and Victor Martins, as long as he keeps it tidy out of here, this could send him even quicker. He's at the top of the timing sheets already, and there we go, half a second quicker. Well, this is what we were saying about these Hankook tyres. They get faster and faster as the session goes on. The tyres we used last year, you tend to only get a few laps out of them before they slowed down, and what that meant was either the drivers were waiting until the end of the session to go out, or they were setting some laps and then calling it a day. But the reason for the choice of the Hankook tyres, which have this life in them, the organisers were telling me that these drivers are here to learn. They're here to learn for the future, so we want to give them as much track time. When we've got rookies, half the field are pretty much rookies, and when they're trying to compete with the likes of Piastri, who we can see on screen, we need to give them some time to get up to speed, get a chance to set a good lap, and I think it's a really good idea. Piastri has gone quicker, as you can see. He went to second place, so he's a 10th behind Victor Martins now, who's going even quicker. Victor Martins into turn number 8 through the left-hander. He goes. That looks clean and tidy to me. There's just 5 minutes to go. The track is getting quicker and quicker. This could come down to a last lap shootout here, because it seems to be getting drier and drier out there. I don't see any rain falling looking out the commentary box window. I might be wrong though. Oh, well, a little bit wide that from Victor Martins. He's gone slower in the second sector. Sometimes when a driver sees they're going slower through a sector, they push perhaps a little bit too hard, and I wonder if that's what forced the mistake there from Victor Martins. Knew he was on a slower lap, so thought maybe just push as hard as I can, find what the limit is. He's found that now. And Victor Martins, well, I say all this, if he goes quicker through this sector, then all that I just said would be irrelevant. Let's have a look if he does. No, he doesn't. So Victor Martins, still a very quick lap though, only 1/10 off his fastest. Everyone's going quicker. The top 16 in the session, all going quicker. Lorenzo Colombo is actually the only driver in 5th not going quicker. Patrick Pasma down in 17th isn't. Alessio Deleda also not going quicker as well. He's in 18th place at the moment. But your top 10, Martin Smolyar, Piastri, Collet, Colombo, Patacek, Sorsi, Cordial, De Wilde. Then we have then we have the number 51 next along, which is Malvestiti. It's a nice shot of Alex Smolyar in the number 3. Bit of a drift. Would have slowed him down though, but looked impressive. Outside of the top 10, we have Loveris. Malvestiti has actually dropped to 12th now as Kushmani's gone up to 8th place. Then it is Lorandi, Pasma, Bolak Basi, 15th place. Then it's Bird, Fernandez and Deleda. Colette going quicker here. He's in 4th place. Where will he be when he crosses the line? He goes first. Caio Collet to the top there, 152.605. And he didn't even set a purple sector as he did it. So he wasn't quickest of anyone through any of the sectors. But the lap was that consistent that he's gone to the top, only by 92 thousandths of a second though. But Alex Smolyar has gone quickest of all through the first sector. Victor Martins has gone quickest of all through the second sector. Caio Collet, well, he's gone to the top there, and that would be a fantastic result to him if he could hang on. But Victor Martins, as you can see, who we go to now, going even quicker through the second sector, didn't do the best of first sectors. Caio Collet has not taken a pole position yet. Victor Martins has taken 4 so far, and he's on for a 5th at the moment, 152.095. But the track is getting quicker all the time here. Piastri's going quicker. Smolyar's going quicker. Here we go now, back to Smolyar, and across the line he goes. This looks good enough. Oh, yes it is. Alex Smolyar to the top, 151.991 for the Russian driver. Gets it all crossed up coming out of turn 1. Pushing as hard as he can here. He's going to get 2 more laps in, is Alex Smolyar. Victor Martins is going quicker through the first sector. Caio Collet is going quicker as well. Piastri also going quicker in 4th place, as is Lorenzo Colombo in 5th place. Watch for Kushmani as well. He's on a flyer at the moment. He's down in 9th place. Just looking out the window to see he's coming through the final corner, I think, up to the line. I'll keep an eye on his time. He's down in 9th at the moment, and Kushmani across the line. I think that may have been Jem Bolak-Basi, his teammate, but Caio Collet out of the final corner. He's done a personal best first and second sector, and in the third, unfortunately, he's just gone a little bit slower, so he's half a second off in third at the moment. Well, he goes on to the final lap of his session, as has many other drivers. A couple more are going to get 1 more lap in here. So Caio Collet on his final lap. Once the clock reaches 0, the flag will start falling. Victor Martins going quicker. He's trying to take that pole position back from Alex Smolyar. Through turns 13 and 14 he comes into 15, the final 2 corners. Xavier Loveris comes, Alessio Deleda, comes across the line. He's getting a little bit quicker with each lap. Here comes Victor Martins, more importantly though. He's on a flyer at the moment, needs to beat a 151.9 and does it, 151.8. Victor Martins hits back then, and he's got 1 more lap to try and go quicker as well. You can see just pushing as hard as he can. Smolyar going quicker in the second sector, and he goes even quicker in the final one. 151.803, 31 thousandths in it, and he's got one more lap as well. Ahead of him, the number 12, that's Lorenzo Colombo. He is in 4th place at the moment, and he's gone quicker through the first sector. Caio Collet has gone slower through the first sector, but quicker in the second. Here is Alex Smolyar then. You can see that looked good through turn 1. That looked quick to me, even though he was a little bit crossed up. That looked very quick. Flag has gone out, and I believe first to take it was Hugo de Wilde, who will be 8th at best. Xavier Liveras jumps into the top 10 at the flag, goes to 8th for the time being. Pasma will be 14th at best. Rolik Basie 15th, Bird 16th. Malvestiti, impressive from him. He's gone to 7th. Patacek has gone to 6th. He got in the top 10 yesterday. Colette has taken the flag as well in 3rd place. Here is Victor Martins, though. He still needs to find a little bit of a time to beat Alex Smolyar, who Alex Smolyar has just set a fastest first sector of all. Victor Martins slower through the second, so Smolyar may have just done enough here. Piastri is not going quicker, so he has bailed out of this lap. Victor Martins probably the only person who can stop Alex Smolyar here. Through the final 2 corners he comes now. Can he set a faster lap time? He needs to find 34 thousandths of a second to do it. Out of the final corner, the run to the line. Can Victor Martins go to the top and take back-to-back pole positions? Yes, he can. 151.531. Well, where is Alex Smolyar? We have to pick him up. I think he's coming out of the final corner and up to the line now. There he is in the background. He comes across the line and can't do it. 151.8. Victor Martins is the 5th pole position of the season for him. It's back-to-back poles at Hockenheim, and the French driver puts himself on the front of the grid. Right at the death, Victor Martins saved it to the last minute. But a fantastic lap time, a very, very quick last sector it must have been. Victor Martins knows, I believe, that he's taken pole position, and with Piastri back in 5th place and Victor Martins only 5.5 points behind the Australian in the championship, Victor Martins has just put himself in a very, very good position to go and take the championship lead away from Piastri going into the final round. What a fantastic session that was. The track was getting better with every single lap, and Victor Martins timed that to perfection. Well, the order was as so. It was Victor Martins in screen there who took pole position. To remind you, the last 3 times we have visited Hockenheim, we have had a double winner each time. In Scott Speed, it was 2004, won both races. Kevin Corjus won both races in 2010. And last year, Max Futrell won both races. All 3 of those drivers went on to become the champion. I wonder if that trend is going to continue this weekend with Victor Martins. Alex Smolyar, good performance from him, from a driver who DNF'd yesterday after picking up damage early on. He tried to fight to the end, but had to eventually pit. He was really devastated when I saw him yesterday. And Alex Smolyar, I think you can see a bit of sign of relief almost there to fight back and take second. Perhaps disappointment under the visor as well there to just miss out on pole position, but Victor Martins was slow from the line, slow off the line yesterday. If Smolyar can get a good run off the line from second, he's got a chance to take the lead into turn 1. Lorenzo Colombo, another driver. He was involved in that incident with Smolyar yesterday. He is 3rd place, as you can see, 7 tenths back, so it was really Martins and Smolyar going head-to-head out front. Caio Collet, 4th place. Brilliant from the Brazilian driver, rookie champion, of course, crowned yesterday. Piastri will be disappointed to be in 5th with his championship rival on pole. Patacek, Malvestiti, Sorsi and Liveras 9th. De Wilde was 10th then. There you can see 11th to 18th. We have Maney, Amory Cordial, Lorandi, Pasma, Chembolik Basie, 15th place, 3.1 seconds off pole. Brilliant on his first ever weekend in a single-seater car. Frank Bird, 16th. Then we had Fernandez, 17th, and Deleda in 18th. Well, let's recap the top three then. One of two drivers in the top three had a bad race yesterday. It's Lorenzo Colombo, the Italian, fighting back in style, puts himself third on the grid. Alex Smolyar, second place on the front row for the Russian. Didn't finish yesterday. He's got a good chance to fight back with a podium today from there, and just under 3/10 back from Victor Martins, who we'll take a look at now. There he is, the Renault Academy driver, 5.5 points back from Oscar Piastri. Can he take the championship lead today? Well, he's given himself every chance to go and do that. The championship fight gets more and more interesting here at the penultimate round of the season. Martins it is second in the championship fight on pole, Piastri in fifth. I'm sure they're going to be looking forward to the race later on. It's going to be at 20 minutes past 3 local time. I'll be back then to call you through the action. Make sure you're with us for what should be a spectacular